So we're going to hopefully quickly go through a couple of measures of position examples. So the first one that we're told commissions earned by Morgan Stanley brokers. And this is monthly data. And so we are given it in, we're given it all over the place. So I'm going to rewrite it initially from smallest to largest. But that's our first step in these problems, is to sort data from smallest to largest. And so doing that, we're going to find there's 1460, 1471, 1637, and so we have 15 here, right? We have 8 in the first row, 7 in the second row. And so when we're asked to find the median, right, our L of 50, that's going to be 15 plus 1, right, because we have a sample size of 15 here. And then we're going to multiply that by 50 over 100. And so this is going to be 16 times 1/2. Half of 16 gives us 8. So it's the 8th position. So then we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? This is my median. Then we're asked what the first quartile is, right? What the first quartile is. And the first quartile we know is our L25. The 16 is going to stay the same, right? 15 plus 1 doesn't change, but now we're going to multiply by 25 out of 100, or 1/4. So we're going to have 16 times a quarter. A quarter of 16 is 4. It's our 4th position. So we find that this is our first quartile. And I did that backwards. Sorry. First quartile. Then we're asked what the interquartile range is, and whenever we're asked for the interquartile range, we need to calculate the 75th percentile, right? The upper quartile. And so our 75th percentile here is going to be, again, that 15 plus 1, n does not change, and now we're going to multiply by 75 over 100. 75 over 100 is just equal to 3/4. 16 times 3/4 is going to give me a position of 12. 12th position here. So I can go to my 8th position, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I find my Q3 at 2205. So when I'm asked for my interquartile range, that's just my Q3 minus my Q1. So that's going to be equal to 2205 minus 1721. Which gives us an interquartile range here of $484. So this one is easy because it is an odd number, right? So when n is odd, things tend to be easy. It's not a guarantee, but things tend to be easy. When they are even, not so much, not so much. So the second part of this, we're going to jump to the book, and we're going to actually go to question 23. So we're going to go to question 23 in the book. And question 23 talks about homeowners in Spain refinancing their mortgages. And they figured out the amount refinanced for 20 loans. So this is the amount of 20 loans. And so again, we're given this. Actually, we're given this in ascending order, which is nice. So we start off with a 59.2. These are obviously in thousands of euros or whatever, right? Again, it doesn't really matter. There's just some context. But we have 20 loans, right? 20 loans. So my n here is an even number, which means I'm going to have some difficulties here, right? And the book asked me to find the median, first quartile, and third quartile here in the first part, right? So my median, right? I know that my median, my L50, is going to be 20 plus 1 times 50 over 100. So this is going to be 21 times 1/2. This is going to be 10.5. And so when we have an even number, we're going to end up averaging the two innermost middle values of the data set. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And we average these two together. 83.7 plus 85.6 gives us 169.3. Divide that by 2. You end up with a 84.65 median, or L50, 50th percentile. Now it gets a little trickier, right? What about my, let's do our lower quartile first. So let's do L25. L25, again, we got 20 plus 1. We're going to multiply this by 25 out of 100. This gives us 21 times a quarter. $21 times a quarter gives me 5.25. 5.25. Kind of tricky when we don't have a 0.5, right? When we have a 0.5, it's pretty easy. You just take the average of whatever the value is before the 0.5 and then after the 0.5, right? But we have a 0.25 going on here.
So that means it's going to be 75% closer to 66.6 and 25% closer to 72.9. So if you take each of those values, multiply by the amount that it is, you'll get the answer.
Right. So the way that we do this is we find the fifth value, that's 66.6 that you said. So we take L5, and then we're going to plus whatever this fraction is, 0.2625, and then it's going to be times, and then just like Yang said, the difference between, it's 25% the way between 66.6 and 72.9. So we're going to say plus 0.25 times 72.9 minus 66.6. So 72.9 minus 66.6 gives us 6.3. 6.3 times 0.25 gives us, oh, this is 66.6, sorry, because of the L5 here. So this is plus 0.25 times 6.3. This 0.25 times 6.3 is 1.575. 1.575 plus that 66.6 0.6, which is the fifth value here, is going to give us 68.175. So again, it is more tricky when we are doing an even number. All right, let's do our upper quartile. L75 is equal to 20 plus 1 times 75 over 100. So this is equal to 21 times 3/4. So 0.75 times 21. This is going to be 15.75. And again, this is the 15.75th position. How do we evaluate the 15.75th position? Well, we have to find the 15th value, right? So this is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is our 16th one here. And so we're going to have 87.1 plus 0.75, 90.2 minus 87.1. Is everybody following me how we're getting this calculation here? So instead of, taking just the straight average between them, right, which we can do when we have a 0.5, anytime we have some other kind of decimal when we're talking about position, we have to do this procedure where we find L5 plus whatever that fraction is, and then multiply that by L6 minus L5. And so this particular one is going to be it's going to be L16 minus L15. And this is our L15 here, right? So just trying to keep it clear where we're getting these values. So 90.2 minus 87.1 is going to give us 3.1 in the parentheses. We're going to multiply that by 0.75 in order to get 2.325. And then we're going to add that to this 87.1. And we're going to get a upper quartile of 89.425. Questions on getting the inner quartile range for this particular example. Now we're going to do the tricky part, and this is the last thing for today. The tricky part is the B part. So the B part, we're asked for the 26th percentile. And then we're also asked for the 83rd percentile. Let's just do the 26th. Feel free to do the 83rd on your own. I'm sure it will also be part of the homework that is due Wednesday night. So the 26th percentile, right? So L26 is equal to 20 plus 1 times 26 over 100. So we have 21 times 26 over 100. 21 times 0.26, right? That's the other way you could think about this. This is just 0.26. 21 times this is going to give me the 5.46th position. Again, it gets really hairy once we start to get out of that inner quartile normal zone of 25, 75%, and once we're in even land, right? When we have even number of observations, it starts to become a pain in the butt. So the 5.46 position, so how are we going to unpack this? Well, we're going to do L5 plus 0.46, right? We take this 46, and we bring it down here, and then we just take the difference of L6 and L5 because it's not quite halfway, but it's, nearly halfway. So similarly to what we did to get the 25th percentile, right? The 25th percentile, we ended up with a 5.25, so now we got 5.46. So we can use those same values, which is nice, right? We have L5 up here, we have L5 down here, we have L6 right here, we have L6 right here, okay? So the only thing that stays the same, or the only thing that's different between the lower quartile and the 26th percentile is the fact that this decimal is different. Everything else stays the same. So L5, 66.6 plus 0.46 times the difference between 72.9 minus 66.6. So we're going to get 66.6 plus 2.898. And so our 26th percentile is 69.498, as opposed to our 25th percentile, which was 68.175. So again, this stuff seems very easy when you're watching somebody do it, but once you start to actually test your own knowledge and your own ability to calculate these percentiles, you'll find that it's a bit more difficult. So please do some practice on your own, and I will see you all on Wednesday. I'll see you all on Wednesday.